Hello, I didn't know we started at 6. Sorry about that.
The sound is live. The sound is live. The sound is live. Because I can't run sound from back here and be up there.
One of the brightest and most gifted stars Hollywood has ever produced is with us today. A super attraction in the main Las Vegas showrooms or in concert, as well as on Broadway or any place else she chooses to appear. I'm very pleased she's here. I love her. Debbie Reynolds.
Hello, Skinny.
Hiya, honey.
Does that really steams Shelley? Do you have that feeling?
Ticks her off, man, that I've kept these things all in, I tell you. well, no, these
She's a
things
dancer.
go well.
You're a dancer. That's it.
That's
Now,
still not
Shelley
the
likes
excuse,
to
Shelley.
eat, dear.
I know.
We made a film together called What's the Matter with Helen?
And the
She was
rumors that
wonderful
came
in it.
out of that set were incredible.
They
You
were
were
all
almost true.
Well, I nicknamed Shelley Killer because in the film, at the end of the film, she was supposed to kill me. But the problem was that she sort of got so in, you know, the method school, which
Yeah.
Shelley is you know, the method. So when she gets into the method, I forget about it. You lose Shelley when she's just banana cake. She's the character she's playing. So right away, I knew she was going to kill me from the start.
Well, I had that knife in my hand.
I know you did.
A rubber dagger?
No, it's supposed to be
real
rubber,
one.
but
Yeah.
she decided she really didn't like me.
No, that's not true.
Yes, and I had to check that knife every day. I checked that.
Did you go over and
is
get
it
it?
the rubber knife or is it the real knife? You scared me to death, you crazy thing.
that's
Good to see you.
Nice
Good
to see you,
I
darling.
watched you backstage. You wait. Oh, I was watching you
Did I
backstage.
look fat? Never mind if I look fat.
Oh, Shelley, will you forget?
No, Shelley, you were talking about your list of all your lovers, so I made.
Not lovers.
No,
they're not all my lovers.
well, your people that you
Have stories with.
had a moment of pleasure with. This is my list.
It's probably invisible ink.
I mean, I couldn't even put Merv down. Were you on her list? Did you all do it?
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that what you got when
Yes.
you said?
No, that's not what
We
we're
did it here
talking
one
about.
time. They ran the credits right over it. And nobody looked.
It only took a minute.
It
Huh?
only took a second,
We knew
Debbie.
each other in New York a long time ago.
A long time ago.
Oh, well,
See,
I
I know Debbie a long
Yeah, and
time.
we knew each other. You were under contract to I don't know
Warner's.
where, Warner's, and I was under contract, and
Yeah.
that was in 1948. And I had just started in the business, and
Yeah.
you had just started.
I know, and we used to have to go to all those things, the opening of the Ice Follies and the...
We had fun though.
Oh, it was good.
In fact, Shelley was at my house when I built, first money I ever made was on a little record called it was a Chimpy with Carlton Carpenter.
I know.
So it made, I don't know, $1,500. In those days, I bought my daddy a car. Can you believe I bought daddy a car, an MG, and I built a swimming pool. And Shelley came
There's
over.
only one thing. They had a little bungalow in Burbank or someplace, and the swimming pool. When you
Called a
step
track house. Is what
when you
it's called.
step out the door, you step right in the pool, and I mean, it took up the whole yard. We had to have a barbecue out in the alley. I'll never. There was no room.
Oh, but we had a good time.
Yeah, we had.
Did you save all those early publicity things, the
I
movie
save
mag?
everything.
When you look back, is that a stranger? Do you like that image? I mean, you were the girl next door, the most gifted
I don't
person.
think you can be what you aren't. You can be manufactured, and in those days they did manufacture stars or a certain image of whatever they wanted, especially sex symbols, but they really couldn't do that to me because there wasn't that much to work with. It wasn't like Shelley. I mean, you know, I wasn't... this one is so cooperative, you know.
Right.
I'll fight you right to the end, if you pardon the expression. So I was the girl next door, so I just stayed in
Were you really all of that time inside? Were you the girl next door?
Sure.
Because you really are.
I was a Girl Scout. I loved Girl Scouting, and I liked camping out, and I liked all. I mean, I've changed through the years, just like Shelley was saying. Naturally, I mean, she doesn't say her age. I'm 49, so that makes Shelley a lot older. And keep that cane over there.
Don't do it, Shelley.
You should see the cookies she bakes. They're wonderful.
I was kidding. When we were working together, she brought cookies every day. Cause
Now,
Shelley,
you brought the cookies. I bought the wine.
no, you ate the cookies. But I enjoyed all those the young years of growing up, and now we're at the point where you asked Shelley a serious question. You know, how do we kind of like our life today? And as she said, it's for today, as you do. You know, we have.
Do you live every day for?
Well, I
what
think
it
that
is?
you have to do that, especially the way it is, the world is today. I think it's such a shocking time to be living in and growing up in. And I mean, there's just so much disaster around us. If we don't, we have to all be very cognizant of the problems that exist in the world today. Much more when I was growing up. I just wanted to be happy, and I thought being happy just happened. But today, happiness is something you really have to create.
Right.
I've learned that. Then that's been.
Are you ever lonesome?
Everybody gets lonely, especially women that are divorced. I've been divorced 9 years, and I don't go steady, and I don't fool around. Sorry, that's my list back there. So, but not saying that that's not, you know, for me that's right. For Shelley, I'm not saying that's wrong, because that really makes her happy. She's a very free spirit. If I flew that far, I'd collapse in a second.
But those kids took off and got married on you.
My children all grew up.
Todd married recently,
Yep.
didn't he? Carrie.
My little boy's all grown up now.
Right.
But you know what, I have something for Shelley I was going to tell, well, I was going to tell you. I didn't know you were going to be on the show, Shelley, so I would have brought, you know, I lost a lot of weight recently from a new diet that's terrific, and you can eat chocolate cupcakes, and you can...
I know. I wouldn't endorse it.
The Beverly Hills
don't like
diet?
They asked me first.
I know, they told me that. But
I know I didn't like
did
it.
you try it?
Yes, I did try it.
No,
And
you didn't
yes.
go on.
Are you talking the Beverly Hills
No,
diet?
no, it's
I lost-
something.
yeah,
it-
15 pounds, or just like that.
Well, I don't think that's the way you should do it. I mean, maybe it's right for you. It wasn't right for me.
Did you try it, though?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah? There's a very
threw
good
up.
new diet. It's
Are you talking about Judy Mazel's diet?
No, that's a great. A lot of the new diets are terrific. This is called Nutrisystems, which is N-U-T, nutritional systems, and it's a whole thing where they plan all your menus for you, and you
Right.
go on the diet, and I lost 4 pounds first week, 3 pounds the second week, but my secretary lost 15 pounds. Honestly.
Yeah?
It was terrific for her.
Shelley's not
Because she didn't
thrilled.
like it. Well, she doesn't like anything you tell her. She discovered.
Are you a
that she
crisis
loved it.
eater?
No, I'm an eater.
But in crises, do you pop down?
Yes.
Yeah.
And when I'm happy, I have.
You forget to eat.
Pop up.
I pop up. No, food is one of the sensual things of the world.
Well, meals are, in as much as it's the only communication you have left with each other or entertainment. In the old days, we had nightclubs to go to and you run into everybody. Now you go out for these extended dinners that go on for 4 hours
I think you can.
and you stuff.
There's a way of eating, though. If you go on a diet for this amount of time, let's say really 2 months or 1 month, if you have to lose 20 pounds, you have to go on a diet for, 5, 6 weeks. You lose that, then you go out and have a good time. You don't have to stay on it. Once you get down, and of course, if you exercise, that's the big thing.
Right. We'll come back right after this commercial message.
Our microphones are hot. I did turn it on. I don't know if you turned it on. That's
No,
you're
I-
in charge of you're the man troller tonight,
Well,
aren't you?
I turned mine on. If you've got yours on, then we are good.
I am good. I am so. You know what? Ryan found. Hey, Ryan, are you there?
Ryan's here.
I don't,
I'm here.
Okay.
Hi.
Hi, babe. I love that
I'll talk
clip.
to you in a little bit.
I love that.
I know it was fun.
Yeah, it was really a good clip. And you know what? It made
Hey,
me.
pin yourself up there, Ryan. So we just have you. We don't care
Sure.
about singers.
There you go.
Hey, so it's interesting too because it brought up Shelley Winters happened to be on there. Did you predict that? That's just coincidental.
That was just coincidental. I just found the clip, listened to it for a little bit, but I loved that she had some things. What she was saying, she said about the time. It was 1981, and she was talking about how it's such a weird time and people are lonely. And I thought, holy smokes, she could be talking about
She
this
sure could.
minute.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
right.
I
her
noticed that.
her encouragement was actually pretty profound. But I was interesting that you picked this because just today I had a conversation with a producer. They're producing a small budget film, and as part of this sort of TCM tribute within the film, they wanted segments from What's the Matter with Helen, and my mother was her company, Raymax Productions, was the production company that produced What's the Matter with Helen. So he was just asking me for permission to use her picture from that movie. And then you just happened to pick that clip with Shelley.
Wow.
I have some pretty profound memories, though, of Shelley on the set. And literally one day they carried my mother off the set
Because she got too into the role.
because Shelley got very into the role. And if you've ever watched this movie, slowly but surely, Shelley Winters, completely becomes a psychopath. But in sort of a gentle, crazy way. It's really well done, but she's completely bats. And she became bats. And my mother kept saying she's completely crazy. She'd come home and tell Carrie and I that she was crazy. And we'd get on the set, and we'd see her literally in this mode, especially towards the end of the film. In those days, you could shoot in sequence if you wanted to, unlike today. It was shot at a small studio just off of Sunset. I believe it was called Screen Gems, just right across from Paramount. And anyway, it was the old Desilu.
Yes.
And anyway, the bottom line is Shelley became completely, caught up in this role and was driving everybody completely crazy. And obviously, this is just some time right after that. But hand me that box right there.
Okay, so Todd found
I-
something when he found out what this was. He found a costume from What's the Matter with Helen, and I have not yet seen it.
Goody, goody.
But it's so funny because the dress that she's wearing there on the Merv Griffin show, Debbie, when Seth was here, we were going through things, and he knew where everything was from. And he said, she wore that dress on the Merv Griffin show.
This
I
is
was like, oh my God.
This is pretty famous, easy to remember because
Did
in
we
the movie,
lose Ryan? Oh, no, he's there.
in the movie, she
No.
has this little outfit on, and it has a little A on the lapel.
Oh,
You see the
yeah.
little A,
Oh, yeah. Look at that.
and you could see it in there.
There. Yeah, you can see that there. That's,
This was her.
look how tiny your
This
mom
was her little workout outfit. She was teacher of young children to dance.
Yes.
So this was her little teacher outfit, and her name was Adele.
Wow.
A for Adele. So I also have the outfit that where he kills her. So this movie that's being made is a lower budget, not a huge budget, but they are sort of paying tribute to these sort of horror films of that day. And ironically, the guy pulls, he pulls out, comes up with what's the matter with him, and he says to me, "Well, I want you to see these stills that we want to use." Because I want, you need to approve them. And I said, I'll just automatically approve them. And he goes, well, why is that? I said, because my mother produced the movie and she chose the script. She cast the movie. She produced the movie. She picked every costume. She picked every still picture. She did approve the posters, the publicity campaign, everything. So anything that's out there for PR would have been her choice, is what it gets down to.
Right.
So-
and who is this that you're talking about that's producing this movie?
Well, it's actually being shot in Bollywood.
Oh, in India?
In India,
Yeah.
but it's a U.S. picture, but they're shooting it there because $6 million goes $20 million worth.
Yeah, isn't that funny that $6 million is considered a low-budget movie today?
Low budget. He said this is very low budget, but he said their $6 million can go pretty far, in that area. You want me to tell you who this guy is?
No, I just was wondering. One thing
I could tell you if you'd really want to know.
I really don't want to know, but but he might not want his name said on the show, so we'll just leave it at that. But what I did
don't think they would
notice
care particularly.
was that
Well, no, he was coming to me because they needed permission to use Debbie's likeness image. He didn't realize that we also owned the movie.
Oh,
Now, he was talking to the distribution company who owns a piece of the movie.
yeah,
But we actually own
The movie.
significant piece of the movie.
Right.
Like most of the movie.
Now, did you happen to notice? Actually, Ryan, I don't know if do you remember the Merv Griffin show?
I do.
Because
I mean,
know you're
was
kind of
certainly
young.
alive.
Yeah, you were alive for
Did
sure.
you just say I'm young?
Yes, you're young. I wasn't sure whether this fell in your wheelhouse of age.
You do
because-
know I have a big birthday coming up.
Big.
Oh, well
That's
then.
a big one.
And is that going to be spent here in Las Vegas?
I sure hope so.
Probably.
That's a lot. Wait.
Seems to be a tradition.
There was an uncomfortable pause there.
He's going to be here in February. A friend is coming with
The
him.
long pause is accepting the number. That's the long pause.
Oh my gosh, you're such a baby. I'm telling you, that age is nothing. It is young. Young,
It's hard
I
to
say.
accept. I'm vain.
Yes. Okay.
You're
well,
so vain. Probably
I am.
think the
I'll admit
song
it.
is about you.
Yeah. See.
Yeah, he's hitting 30.
Yeah, let's
he's
go
hitting
with
the
one
big
of those.
35. That's right. But one thing I noticed, and Todd and I both noticed and made a comment on, was the Merv Griffin show, which I grew up on. I watched it with my grandmother, who pretty much raised me, and I remember I would pretend like I was on the Merv Griffin show. I would take like a hairbrush and pretend like it was a microphone, and I'd be like, oh, Merv, you're just so clever. And I would, seriously do that. And then one day I actually was on the Merv Griffin show when I grew up, and that was one of those things where I think, what comes first, the chicken or the egg? Did it happen because I saw it when I was a kid?
Conjured it.
Did I conjure this moment like 25 years later? Or was it just a coincidence, which I don't believe in
So
those anyway.
I did the Merv Griffin show when I was in my 20s, and I remember, so Merv was pretty excited to see me, just, 'cause you see how he loved Debbie.
And he was just a great.
No, he was a very
Oh, God,
sweet person.
he
And
really
so
was.
when I was out there, he was genuinely, like, I didn't see him before the show, so I
Yeah.
just came out and he was like, really like lost track of almost where we were. And he started telling these stories, you know, like about the good old days with my dad, and then he goes, "You remember that?" And I went, "Actually, Merv, I wasn't born yet."
Did you say that?
Just like that. I looked at the camera and I said, "Actually, I wasn't born yet, Merv." Ooh, and he was like, he busted up laughing. You know, that was a pretty funny moment.
But you know, there's never been another talk show host like him. And what I love about the old days as opposed to now, I cannot even watch a show anymore because, for one, they're so political. They turn me off so much I can't make it through their monologue. And they can't help themselves, you know. So I just stopped watching talk shows years ago. But when I do catch one on TV, it's so fast. They have a guest on for 2 minutes and it's over. Next guest is coming in, and I don't
But
like
you know
this format.
that
I love this because she got to tell stories, and you got to know her and Shelley Winters, and you know, like, why is it because
What's the
this
rush?
world? Well,
No, it is.
it
It
because
is
the world is now
instant gratification is not
yes.
soon enough. But as Carrie said, but
Is not fast
but
enough.
not fast or soon enough. Well,
Yeah.
you know, but also if you remember the latter days of Larry King, I got to do his show, and we did a 30-minute block, no interruptions.
Yeah.
So he demanded that. He was like, "If you want me to do this, I'm not doing what they were doing. We're not going to commercial after 2 minutes and talk about some new drug that's on the market." I mean, he basically said, "I do these blocks, you have your commercials, and then we'll, you know," and so that, in my view, there's still a market for that. Maybe it's just for us, but I feel like people, I don't know how you guys feel, but I feel like, as Kat pointed out, you know, you don't. What do you find out in 2 seconds? You have to like give a quick sound bite and move along. You don't really get to find out a story about how this person, you know, went through something, or like you heard my mom there, you know, pontificating on what it was like to live in those times and how she really couldn't find a mate. You saw her pull out her little piece of paper with all the list of her lovers blank.
Right?
Now, you know, you can imagine she's backstage, if you could picture this going on, and Shelley's out there talking about all her lovers. And my mother gets the idea that she's going to put this list together. So she scotch taped together like 6 pieces of paper, rolled it up, and had it handed to her. So she premeditated that joke. I mean, you'd never even get a moment to do that joke in today's environment. So it's fun to see a talk show like this.
I do believe there is a market for that. I think that,
Well, this is one example of it.
I mean,
We don't-
it's of course, it depends on the guest. If you have an interesting guest, it seems like a crime to cut them down
But you remember Carson, because I know this for a fact.
to 2 minutes. I mean, it's
No,
just
but
rude.
what Carson did was, if you were boring, he would move it to the next guest. They had them stacked up like airplanes at LAX for
yes,
landing.
yes.
And he would, if he liked you, you stayed on through the segment, you know, even through a commercial.
Mm-hmm.
And as you got boring, you moved down in the seats. Pretty soon you were sitting by Ed McMahon, who, you know, was the last man standing. And that was the way it worked until you were off the table. And no, so some of the hosts with power, I used to go to the show when my mom would do the show. I did the Carson show once. And I watched him do that, and he found somebody uninteresting. Next, we go to we're going to a commercial right now, and then they come up and they move you down, and the next guy comes
It's
out.
hard to believe that they can't see that coming, because every talk show I've ever done, you have a pre-interview with the producer, and they interview you for 15 or 20 minutes, and they make notes, and so it's not some big surprise what the talk show host asks you, because
No,
you
it's
did
not,
a pre-interview.
it's not the ask, it's the delivery.
Yeah.
So I could tell you a story in a monotone fashion, and you know, then we went down to the set and we met some people, and
I don't think
it
I've ever
was-
seen that on a talk
I have.
show. Have
I've
you?
seen it with actors who are, you'd think are really slick.
Yeah.
You know, no. I mean, it's in the delivery. Are you interesting or are you Memorex?
Well, let me just say that this was the What's the Matter with Helen was a good little setup, because I had, you know, I was gone for 10 days, and you were working your tail off here, and I was doing the same on the road.
I'm going to center up your camera. Keep going.
Okay. So I ended up I was in San Antonio, and then after San Antonio, I went to Arkansas, which, let me just say, what a beautiful state that is. And I've been there many, many times, and I go there a lot. And in light of what has happened with this tornado, all of the states that have been affected, but Arkansas, where I just was, and I have lots of friends there too because I've been going there for so long and doing different jobs, and I just really want to say my prayers go out to everybody that's gone through this terrible, terrible tornado. And I'm going to send a picture to you because my girlfriend, who I saw there, took it out of her back door.
It's a
last
phenomenal
night.
picture.
And
Did you send that one to me?
I know, but I will right now. And it was just so incredible. I mean, if it's too late, I won't.
No, I mean I can do it. It's just a little clumsy.
I was in Arkansas for 5 days, and we had a big storm the night before I left. And I said, we're not going to have any tornadoes, are we? Because those are the scariest things to me because they kind of just come upon you, and you don't know how big they're going to be until they get there. Am I right about
Well,
this?
they know they're coming, and they give warnings, but they just don't know exactly where. So those sirens go off, and it could be within a 10, 15, 20-mile, 50-mile radius. So
Right.
there's all kinds of, but they do hunker down. And it's not, I mean, we all know the movie The Wizard of Oz. I mean, you're in Kansas, there's tornadoes. You have a
Yes.
storm cellar. People know it's coming to some degree. You can plan for it. You can design for it.
Mm-hmm.
But when Mother Nature decides to come up with one of these number 5s or 4s, I mean, you just can't predict that, and you can't necessarily design against it. That's why in the storm I mean, how many movies have you seen with the storm shelter? Everybody going down in the storm shelter, they come back up and the place is leveled. It's no joke. But same thing with earthquakes, right? I mean, you've seen you've seen all that, and you've seen the tidal wave surge in Japan, that whole Fukushima power plant fiasco.
The other scary thing to me is a tsunami.
Well, that's Fukushima. Remember in Japan when they had that tsunami? And then you had that surge. We've seen a couple of those. I mean, in our lifetime, we've seen some remarkable weather events, but I do encourage you to look at the history. There's a lot of history in these areas, so it's not, as the old expression goes, there's nothing new under the sun. There are serious historical records of these things happening, and like in California, when I designed the house there, I designed it for a 7.4 earthquake because I did some research to find out what was the worst thing that could happen where that house was. And we're building an addition on our house here.
Yep.
And we've reinforced the roofing systems a certain way here because there are essentially these desert winds. You see them in movies, like The Scorpion, where this squall comes up in the desert. And we have those here, and they're no joke. You can get 100-mile-an-hour winds here in the desert. So you need to design for that too. So I'm really obviously horrified by what happened to all those people. But it is a good thing to take heed to those weather warnings and get the heck out of Dodge when you hear that stuff happen, or have designed something that can withstand it. If you have the resources, obviously not every. In the old days, literally they would, they take shipping containers like we have, and you bury them in the backyard.
I was wondering what, it's people there, it surprised me that the house where I stayed didn't have a storm shelter. I have only been in one house.
Now, see,
I
I know that house, and you're in a development that's relatively new.
No, you don't, because I was in Northwest Arkansas. You were used to me being in Northeast Arkansas.
Where does she live? Remember?
She lives in Northeast Arkansas, which is where the tornadoes
Well, wherever
hit.
I've been there, I noticed there were these developments, and it's just like anywhere else, there's rows of houses.
Yes, that is true.
And unless they build a basement with this in it as a feature, but for a couple of grand, you can get a shipping container. At least those of us who live near ports can get them fairly cheap. And when you get a shipping container, you bury it in the backyard. You make yourself a little entry point to it. Nothing.
That's a good idea.
Nothing can damage that.
It just would be a shame if that hole got covered up and there you are buried alive in
Well,
a
it
shipping
doesn't
container.
move dirt, and water is an issue. You want to have a little sump pump or something, but the rains do come down.
Oh my God, I wonder if, I sent that picture to you, by the way.
Thank
I
goodness.
wonder if there was a swimming pool full of water. Does it pull the water out of the pool?
Well, it certainly can slosh it out.
Yeah, because one of the things, okay, so
Well, we're just getting a
Hold
little,
on.
little Merv Griffin action here.
there
Okay.
you go. So I just sent a picture to Todd that she sent me from, this is, Ryan, this is Emily. She sent me this picture from her
Yes.
back door. last night, and she considers herself a storm chaser, which really annoys me because I don't want anything to happen to her. But she was all over that last night. Let's see if we can get this picture up. It's just quite remarkable. The thing about it was there were twisters, multiple twisters, not just one. Look there. There's the picture right there.
Yeah, it is
You
a little
see
off
that?
season.
And I mean, look at that.
You see that, Ryan, right?
I do.
That's insane.
I've seen the sky churning like that, and then out of nowhere this funnel comes down. It's pretty scary. I mean, it makes the Wizard of Oz. I was scared when I watched the Wizard of Oz, when I was a little kid.
Yeah.
And part of what scared me was the idea that a house could get picked up and taken up into the sky. I mean, that was pretty frightening as a kid. It gets you kind of freaked out about these weather
It does,
events.
but and the thing is that again, even if you know it's coming, you don't know where. So it's almost like I just can't. I would not live. We have every place has their thing. Hurricanes, earthquakes. Actually, Ryan, you were here when we felt an earthquake that LA was
That was
having.
my first. That was the first one that I experienced.
And he was sitting. You were out of town. He was sitting at the dining room table. I was walking through the backyard, and I saw the water in the pool doing this. And I thought, oh, I didn't know we could feel earthquakes here. And then when I walked in,
I loved it.
Todd, I mean,
'Cause
Ryan.
you like rock and roll,
He was
that's why.
sitting in the dining room looking at the chandelier, and it was swinging back and forth. And he
It
goes,
was.
I think we're having an earthquake. I said, I think so, because the water was just coming out of the pool. So we can feel those.
Well,
but
so
it's-
here's an interesting, for those of you that have ever been in small craft in the ocean during gnarly weather, you get the notion of how insignificant you are and how powerful Mother Nature is. And, we living on land, a relatively calm, controlled environment. But,
Yes.
when you're in the ocean, you are truly at the mercy of Mother Nature. And I've been capsized in the ocean before and making deals with God, that I was going to give up any percentage to get my ass saved. And you do get the feeling that how fragile we are.
Right, and that is so true. Where I was in Arkansas, it was near a place called Eureka Springs, Arkansas. And there was a haunted hotel there. And it wasn't just a Motel 6 that happened to be haunted. I mean, it was the most amazing hotel
Am I starting with anything in
I
particular?
have ever seen.
Which one do you want to start with?
Let me see. I don't know. Let me see how I sent these to you. So my
Well, they're
friends
random.
and I, let me just get to it. Let me see how I sent them to you. I did send them kind of at the last minute. So
Well, I have this one. You can just.
okay. So
You wanna look at that one?
Yeah, I want to show the picture of the outside of the hotel, but we can go
Well,
this
that's
way
what
too.
I was asking you.
Yeah.
What's the
I
order?
don't know where I sent that.
Well, I
to
just
you.
need to know what the order is.
There is no order.
There is no order.
I just sent them. So we took this tour. It was called the Haunted Tour. Ryan, would you have gone on this with me?
I would have gone on the tour with you.
Yeah.
I certainly would not have stayed in that place overnight.
You wouldn't. Now, see, I have committed that the next time I go, I do want to stay there because it is a gorgeous hotel, and it reminded me a little bit of the hotel at Greenbrier, except Greenbrier is very fancy and all up to date. And this hotel is it's stunning. It is
You
so
didn't
beautiful.
you didn't take a picture.
I did. Yeah, I did.
It's-
That's it.
You didn't
okay.
take that picture.
No, I didn't take this picture.
No, I know,
I pulled
it's
that off
super
the internet.
small, though.
Oh, okay. Well,
the best I
anyway,
could do.
that's what it looked like in the 1800s or early 1900s. It was built in 1865, and it's called the Crescent Hotel. Now, I know we have a lot of people in our room that love this stuff, and so I thought I would show you some stuff. But this hotel, and it's magnificent. That I wanted to show it to what it looked like in the day. So built in 1865, and it was built, of course, to be
That's
a grand,
right after the Civil War.
right after the Civil War, and it was built to be a grand hotel. And then in the early there it is. You see it. It does look like Winchester. But it's massive. You can't really tell by this picture, but it really is. And today it is even still absolutely gloriously beautiful.
Did you take a picture of the outside?
I did not because I got there at night. You got the chills? Oh, well, wait till you see some of these pictures. It's like, so
Listen to that laugh. You're going to love it. You hear the cackling going on?
You just embarrassed me, but it's okay.
Well, that's what it sounded like.
Did it?
It sounded like you're evil witch in the Jordan.
Well, I got excited about it because, I mean, it's not every day that you see something built in the 1800s that's still standing and people are staying there, and we had dinner there.
Well, you lived in New York City, almost every building.
Right, but this is, they say, the most haunted hotel in America. Now, those are some big words. And my girlfriend and I were like, sure. And we went. So we went there, and you know that there's something going on when you walk through the door because it is just so, there's so much history there. But where this haunting apparently comes from is that the hotel, built in 1865.
Is that the front door?
Okay, no, that is a hallway. So I'll show
where do you want
that
us
in
to
a
go?
minute. So that's fine, right there. So we went in, and you can take all the pictures you want when you're on the tour. And one thing I noticed is that when you're taking pictures, you don't see anything. You don't see anything. But the fun apparently is looking at the pictures afterwards. And everybody on this tour took pictures. So I have some of mine, and I have some of others that were there. And it was just really an amazing thing. But in 1944, a man bought it, a doctor bought it, and he made it a cure for cancer hotel. That's what the whole hotel turned into, a hospital that people that had cancer went to, and they would be cured in 6 weeks or so, he said. Well, the things that went on there apparently were just terrible, and nobody got cured, and it turns out the guy wasn't even a doctor. So it was just terrible. And in the bottom, in the basement, was the morgue. So they take you down there too. They take you to all these
Why
different
would a
places.
hotel have a morgue?
Well, because they turned it into a hospital.
Oh, he built a morgue. In other
He
words.
built a morgue. And
You're going to need one if you're going to.
so hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people died here. And this is why supposedly it's the most haunted hotel in America. And so when we walked in, and there was only maybe 13 people on the tour because they keep it really small. And it's so weird because the hotel is completely functioning, and it's full of people that are staying there as guests. So they come out of their hotel room, and we're all standing in the hallway waiting for something to happen. So I just snapped pictures as we were going through. And so the first picture I'm going to show you is a picture I snapped. And let me see if we can get it up. And then it was just people standing in the hallway, right? So you notice that, nothing remarkable, just people standing there. So we'll go to the next picture, which was shot immediately. I was shooting different frames. So the next so it'll say after. Okay, it should be the next picture.
It doesn't say after.
It does in the subject line, but...
Well, I don't have... All I have is image.
Are you crabby tonight, honey? You
No,
crabbing at me?
No,
I'm going to run away and join the circus.
Okay, here's the other one.
Okay, so now, I don't know if that's the other one. Let's see. No, that's the same one, I think. And then the next one, when he finds it, you'll see I had a little activity.
You talking about this?
No, that was somebody else's picture. And OMG, when we get to that, you're just not going to believe it. It's the same picture. It looks the same. It's not that one. But we'll go ahead and look at that one since we're there. So you can put that one up. This is someone else's picture, but if you can zoom in, look at what they got on the ceiling. I mean, that wasn't there when we took the picture, okay? What do you see there? A face. Now, the strangest thing is, I'm telling you, when you're taking pictures, you really know, they always say, notice your surroundings. And so, you can, Don Renta, that gives new meaning to you can check in, but you can never check out. Yeah, you see a face. And so we'll go on to another picture now, but that's the same hallway that I was in. And that was someone else's photograph, but everybody was showing each other photographs at the end. And so we'll go to the next one. But it was really quite amazing. There was no bad feeling there. I didn't feel any. Of course, I prayed before we went into the hotel. I always pray the prayer of protection because you just never know. Now, here's someone else's picture as well. And so what do you see here? Can you see that?
What do you want to point at?
This. What
Well,
do you see that?
I'll go to camera 2.
Okay,
And now you point at it. What is it you want to point at?
right here. Do you see
Okay.
it? Okay, now we'll go close up.
You want to zoom in on
Zoom
that.
in on that. This is someone else's picture. A woman took this of her husband standing there. This is in the morgue, actually. And what do you see there? Ryan, you want to spend the night?
Hell no. Hell no.
That is so wild, right? And the weird thing is he's looking right at it, but he doesn't see it either. So that was a really some crazy stuff there. And then there's, I'll show you another picture that was somebody else's that it would have made me run screaming from the forest. And Ryan, you're going to love this. Look at Mary O'Connor. A real face. It's so funny. That looks like a clown, Carlos Lovano. All right, so we're going to move into, let's see here. There's that one.
That's all I have
Oh,
after
that's
that.
good. That's all you have. I sent you so many.
No, that was it.
I sent more.
Well, I'll
so
go
we'll
try to
we'll
find
look
more.
at this one. Go ahead and put it up. Now, this was someone else's photograph. It was actually in the room. And the lady put rose petals out there because she wanted to see if
See, I've got split screen so you can.
love it. So she wanted to see if any wind would come through the room. So she put something light down. So she put these rose petals down. But look out the window. Look. This was not in the window, I tell you. Look at that. And here's the weird thing. I mean, there was no weird, bad feeling in the hotel. It was a little sad, but I just think that this is the most remarkable picture.
This is certainly the best one you've got.
I mean, come on, right? That's crazy. That is crazy. So in my second picture that he can't find, remember I showed you the picture of the hallway?
Well, I'll
In the
look.
next
You just tell
frame
me
that
what
I
it is you
took,
think I'm.
there were things on the floor, and they actually remained in almost every, not every photograph, but maybe.
So tell me what the picture is.
It's just a hallway, and.
Well, I showed you the pictures of the hallway.
Right, so you didn't get all the pictures.
Well, there's a hallway. You want to see that? That's a hallway.
Okay, I can't see it. Whoops, that
That's
was
a
me.
hallway. There's-
Oh.
Oh, I see what you're talking about. This
Yeah,
one.
but and see
That one.
that's the one. So now the picture in the hallway. Excuse me, I'm going to be getting up, and God knows what the camera's catching.
Well,
but
we'll go ahead and put
I'll
Apple
just go ahead
TV.
and get my phone.
No, I'll
Okay.
just put that up.
Okay, so now if you can see what is going on here, you can see that all these, see the blue spots, all the little blue spots, they all showed up out of nowhere. So you can see those.
Now, did you see those while you were there?
I did not see those when I was taking the picture. The picture before, they were not there. I took that
Here, you can
picture,
point at 'em.
and they were there. They were right there. And
That's not a typical lens aberration.
I was going to ask you, because you know all this
No,
kind of
that's
stuff.
not a lens aberration.
And the little blue spots, which is what they look like, they were not only in this picture, but they were in other shots as well. Like our tour guide, there were 50 little tiny ones on her, and when I saw the picture afterwards. And so there they are. And, I would look. I looked at everything before I photographed it. Again, I never felt scared. There was no creepy feeling about the hotel. I would stay there. It's a beautiful place. And the town, Eureka Springs, is absolutely beautiful where it is. And it's kind of at the top of a hill, which makes it more... if it was a rainy night, I wouldn't stay there by myself, I can tell you that.
Is it the Bates Motel?
No, but would you stay there with me?
Oh, sure. I don't care about stuff like that. Doesn't
You
look.
would?
Sure.
You heard it here. He said he would stay with me. So that was really kind of, like a fun little thing that we got to do on this trip, and it was interesting, very interesting. I think to myself, how many ghost hunters must have been at this hotel over the years? Like, can you imagine?
Well, a lot of people obviously have gone to these places, and I've watched some of those shows, and I've yet to see anything that was, like.
Oh no,
overly
I will
definitive.
tell you now, I watch those shows, and I bet a lot of people that are watching right now watch those shows, and when you're sleeping, and I want to wake you up because I get scared even though nothing really happens. I always think those shows are just like
So it's not like
nonsense.
Ghostbusters where there's somebody gets grabbed by the throat and stuck to the ceiling?
Yeah, no. Those shows are all kind of like getting scared in the dark when someone jumps out from behind something at you. That's what those shows are like to me. But because there's so many things that can be manipulated. But when you see something with your own eyes, it's pretty staggering, and it starts to make you wonder, about like things. But again, there was no bad feelings. There were no. It was almost like the people just still lived there and wanted to be part of it all. That's what it felt like. Like the people the spirits, I guess, that were living there just want to be a part of it all. They just want to stay where they were. So.
Well, it's another one of those things that one cannot control. So I mean, you can stay away.
Yeah.
Unlike a tornado. If you live there, you're in the path. You're at the mercy of Mother Nature, and you could say I'm at the mercy of God. I'm at the mercy of luck. I mean, because you can't say that some of these people that get in the paths of these tornadoes are somehow deserving of such things.
Oh no.
So I've heard said many times. We all have the old expression, "Well, God moves in mysterious ways." Well, I'm not buying into the God who's running around with the power of a tornado to teach someone a lesson in Arkansas or wherever, or Tennessee.
Debbie Bouchard is asking, what are orbs?
Well, orbs, many times, orbs are actually optical refractions of light in a lens. A lens has many spherical pieces of glass that are laid in front of each other to create the focal length of the lens, among other things. And when light comes in at a funny angle, it causes these different aberrations in light. In fact, some of them are used very advantageously in anamorphic lenses. You ever seen a headlight go past a lens? You get a horizontal streak of light, and a lot of guys love that effect when light hits the lens a certain way. And same thing with spherical lenses, which is what most of you have. You get round aberrations. So 99%.
So you think a lot of orbs are not anything
99%,
but light?
right. 99% of orbs are refractions of light in a spherical lens piece of glass. But I have seen some that cannot be explained quite so easily. I know a lot about how lenses are put together. I've taken them apart, and I know what makes them work. I know a lot about what light does to a piece of glass and why. And then there's coatings on the glass. So over the decade, back in the day, 30s, even before that, there were no coatings on the glass. So you had a lot more refractions of light with older lenses. Newer lenses have advanced lens coatings which reduce refractions of light or orbs or aberrations or chromatic aberrations.
Okay, so most people take these pictures with their cell phone.
Yeah, it's round. If the lens is spherical, it's round glass.
So they can still be, orbs can happen in an iPhone?
Makes
If you're not using no flash.
Flash has nothing to do with it. It has to do with the light coming in as you move your camera, and there's lights above or around you, or flashlights, or a number of reflections in a mirror. A lot of things can cause it. But it does usually take something with a lot more output than the room itself. So if you're in a dark room, the chances of an orb are far less.
Yeah.
Until you have a light hit the lens.
Well, the morgue
Flashlight will
part
cause it every time.
The morgue was dark. It was very dark down there.
I saw that.
And
Now that image,
the face?
yeah. So I mean, I don't want to be.
I have pictures of the.
I don't want to be a
morgue, and I
Ghostbuster.
didn't get any face.
I don't want to be a well, the face in the window is the best thing you've got, but the one where the image is coming in from the left is actually because the room is dark, the lens is open. The camera automatically is adjusting these, especially iPhones and things. They automatically adjust and they lower the shutter speed, exposure time, so that the lens the exposure is open for maybe somewhere up to a half a second. So in a half a second, what happens is something moves. It streaks. That's a person coming through the doorway. Now, I wasn't there, so I could just tell you that is a live person streaking in motion through a doorway.
But did you notice that the face is very similar to the one in the first picture of the face we showed?
The one in the window is
Oh, no, that's different.
That's way better.
Now, that's interesting to me because there was a little boy that showed pictures of people from back then, and there was a little boy there. And so a lot of people think that is the little boy. And again, they don't scare people or do anything. It was very interesting.
Well,
they
not
just
all,
kind of are
not
there.
all ghosts or spirits are going to be evil spirits.
Right.
That's Hollywood, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there are people that are unsettled, in what's happened to them, and sometimes hang around. These spirits hang around. There's truth to that. In the movies, sometimes you'll see the spirit needed to settle a few matters before moving on. Well, I don't think that's a joke. I actually think that's reality. I think that you could have an unsettled spirit.
Well, what was interesting was I don't remember the actress's name, but when they found an actress, she had died in her home in the Hollywood Hills, and she was like a B movie actress, I think. I don't mean that disrespectfully, but not a well-known actress, but she was kind of almost like a B or C kind of movie actress, and she died months before they found her. Do you remember this up in the Hollywood Hills?
No, because this is a story that you gravitate towards.
No, it was big news.
No, I don't. It's
yeah,
not
I mean, your mom and I.
Oh, well, my mother loved this stuff.
Yeah,
so I'm not.
So I was
could
at
see
your
the
mom's
two
house,
of you
and we were
reminiscing.
visiting, and your mom said, "Did you hear about them finding so and so up in her house, and she'd been dead for 9 months, and no one knew that." And so apparently this woman was a recluse, and she lived in her house alone and didn't have any friends, didn't really go anywhere very often, and her neighbors saw her very, very scarcely. And it was really only because the mountainous stuff that started to pile up in front of her house that her
They
neighbors
noticed.
Yeah, they noticed, called the police, and they found her inside, and it was 9 months. 9 months she had been in there. So 9 months. Your mom was fascinated by this. And I was visiting your mom, and she said, let's get in the car and drive up there and see if we feel anything. I mean, she's got to still be there. You know that. That was her sanctuary. She never left it. She's got to still be there. We should go up there. And we talked about it for about 20 minutes, and then in the end we decided not to go.
You should have gone.
But your mom was fascinated by that stuff.
I shot a picture years ago.
You shot a picture?
And
No one can hear you.
Okay, let me see.
I'm going to give it to you because it's actually
We have Liz here. Liz Cochran is here.
the description.
Got to talking about strange and unusual photos at work
Here.
the other day and
Oh.
remembered that I took this. This picture was taken inside of a church in Cape May. I was supposed to be getting a quick shot of the altar, but when I went back to view and post the picture, this is what I got. Do you see? What it looks like Casper?
It looks like a profile to me. I thought it was a woman's profile.
Yes, but you know what? I see with the hair. I can see if I'll send it to Todd, but it's that I see it very much so, but it's almost like what they call an apparition where you can sort of see through the person a little bit.
I
Yeah.
don't know how the phone works.
Huh?
I don't know how that phone works.
I know. It's not an iPhone, so we're clueless. But that is very interesting because you just never know. You just never know. But anyway, so that was fun. Let me just say hi to some folks because we haven't been here for a couple of weeks. Ferruccio is the first name I see. Oh, Nikki Scott Michaels has a whole video in the Yvette Vickers house. That, Frank, of course you would know that. Yvette Vickers, that was her name. Yvette Vickers. What is on that video? I want to know. Where can we see this? Frank, let me know if you know. It's good to see you, Francis. Tracy Valine, was that the actress Yvette Vickers? Yes, it was. Hey, Jan Hanley, welcome. Larry Baker, happy holidays to you too. And Nicole Johnson, Terry Johns, Nikki Luongo, Paula Mickle. We are having a great evening so far, I must say. Francine Lobner, Terry Dixon, Cheryl Murray. Hey, Cheryl. Frank Ferruccio, Nikki Scott Michaels. I don't know who that is. I'm going to figure that out. Cheryl Murray. I would love to be in that morgue. I love stuff like that. Yikes. It was interesting. I mean, I think you really would like it, Cheryl. Mary O'Connor, Latest Style. She remembers Latest Style, remembers Yvette Vickers being found. Hey, Kathy Gans. Debbie Sanders Lewis. Hello. It must be beautiful in West Virginia right now. Heather Tanchuk. I reorganized a photo albums for Yvette Vickers. Very nice. Quiet. Oh, Heather. Interesting. You met Yvette Vickers.
Okay, so there's the image.
Of what Liz shot? Okay, so there was nothing in front of you when you shot it. You were just shooting a picture of the church?
Yep.
And so,
Because we really were pressed for time, so I wanted to get in and get the picture, and I was like, okay. And I double checked it, everything before I actually hit it.
yeah.
Because I was, afterwards, he was like, I had something in front of the camera. I'm like, no, I did not.
Hello, Ali Amendola and Jema Taylor, Sandra Ruck, Kathy Hobbs, Debbie Call, and, Debbie Augustine. I see you're here. But what's really kind of neat is, is that you see what I mean? Like it's almost see-through. You just, it's very fuzzy. Ryan, what do you make of that?
I'm trying to look closely at that. I don't know what I make of it.
Yeah, you can see the profile on it. It's very interesting. But anyway, all this is to say is, who knows, right? Who knows? But it was interesting. And I see Barbara Hammond said, I would stay in a hotel. I would stay in that. Well, those of you who said you would stay there, we'll just put you to the test. Because I'm not going by myself.
Why don't you just call for a field trip?
I think a field trip is in order.
Everybody meets there.
Everybody meets. It's not an easy place to get to. You fly into, it's called Fayetteville. XNA is the name of the airport. And so I had, where I was coming from, I had to take 2 flights to get there. I don't usually like to go anywhere where I have to take 2 flights, but you can get there easily. And then once you're there, it's about an hour and 20-minute drive. It's really close. Right on the other side of the mountain is Branson, Missouri. It's literally next to Branson. So you
and you can't get to Branson either.
Branson's hard to get to, isn't it?
It is.
Field trip. That's all I've got to say. So tonight.
Take a GoPro and let's make a segment.
A GoPro.
Yeah,
I just got all
GoPro
kind. I
camera.
bought myself some new stuff while I was gone, with a furry little microphone on it, and so for my phone, because I really do intend to go back. So I think a field trip is in order. Who's in? That's all I have to say.
That's crickets coming from Ryan's side.
Ryan, you coming?
I'll edit it for you.
Will you come on the trip?
Look, I love horror movies. I love it all.
I know.
But that juju is not my bag. The Shining is really, that one gets to me.
We have the lenses that shot The Shining.
Yep.
I know.
And they're spherical lenses too.
Yep. Hey, you know what would be fun? To take those and shoot the hotel through the Shining lens, some of it.
You need something that wide just to get it's such a small space.
And the strangest thing too is right next to it is a theater, and there's an illusionist there and his wife, and they do their show there all year. So it's an interesting little town. But anyway, so tonight we're going to give stuff away, and are we doing the randomizer tonight there, Ryan?
We sure are.
Oh, I can't think of anything better. Before we do hey, Emily Lard, she said, Ryan, come on. Right?
Well, if you go, Emily, I'll go.
Emily is in. She's game for anything. Emily is great. We had so much fun. So let's see. Elizabeth Gandy, Migo.
Here comes the first name.
Oh, okay. The first name on the randomizer. You will be winning. Everybody tonight is winning the same thing. You are winning a gift certificate, $25 gift certificate to catcosmetics.com. And I'm doing it that way only because tonight's show, I can't make it too long because John is not here tonight because his girlfriend, Samantha, has graduated from law school, which is a big deal. And so they're having a party tonight, and we're going to be going to that. I'll have to get dressed before we go.
Are we going to give her a $25 gift certificate?
We'll give her a $25 gift certificate. That's right. So everybody tonight, all wieners will win a $25 gift certificate to catcosmetics.com. So if you've never won before, do you want them to write at info@catcosmetics? Ryan?
Yes, please.
Okay. So if you win tonight, please write me at info@catcosmetics.com and let me know your email address. I'm going to need that to send you the gift certificate, okay? Or gift certificate, any which way that you look at it. Here we go. So the first wiener is on the randomizer. If you don't know what the randomizer is, you have been assigned a spot in the randomizer, and Ryan pushes a button and it scrambles them all up and spits us out a name. And the first name tonight is Beth Ward. Beth Ward, you are the first wiener of the $25 gift certificate. Congratulations. So here we go. We are going on to number 2. Number 2 is...
Oh, again.
Oh my God, Beth Ward, you just got chosen again, so go out and buy a lottery ticket because that has never happened.
Well, it happens
Okay, no, it
occasionally.
didn't happen it happens on the wheel, not the randomizer. The second wiener is Stephen Edwards. Stephen Edwards, you are a wiener. Please write me at info@catcosmetics.com. Make sure I have your email address. And number 3, Gina Renee Cox. Gina Renee Cox, you are a wiener of a $25 gift certificate to catcosmetics.com. And I know what Gina's going to want because she's a client, so I know what she likes. Isn't that funny? I mean, you have thousands of clients, and I know them all by name. It's insane. Seth Robichaud and I are nutty that way. We have crazy memories. All right. Number 4, Carol DeWald. You are a wiener of a $25 gift certificate, Carol DeWald. Please write me at info@catcosmetics.com and make sure I have your email address. Congratulations. And the randomizer is choosing another name right now. And it is Anna Papageorgiou. Wait, I got to do it because this is how I say it. Anna Papageorgiou. Anna Papageorgiou. That's you. You won tonight. $25 gift certificate to you, Anna. Make sure I have your email address. Oh, look who's here now. Is this number 6? Kathy Gans. Kathy Gans, it's been a while. Congratulations. You have won a $25 gift certificate, and I already have your email address, so we're good to go there. And the next one is Vicki Giddens. Vicki Giddens, number 7. Congratulations, Vicki. You have won a $25 gift certificate to catcosmetics.com. Make sure that you write me at info@catcosmetics.com and let me know that you and leave me your email address. That would be awesome. Number 8, Nicole Johnson. Nicole Johnson, you are a wiener. You have won also a $25 gift certificate to catcosmetics.com, and please write me and let me know what your email address is. I'd like to congratulate all 8 winners. That went by real quick, but we had to because, Mama's got to get ready. You look like 2 dinners on one plate. I mean,
I'm ready.
You are handsome. Look at a filet mignon and a pork chop all on one plate.
I'm blacked out and ready to go.
You're decked up, and I don't know what I'm going to wear.
I've got on my leg and armrest. I'm ready to go.
Okay, so we have to, before we go, let's just share with the rest of the class what happened while I was gone.
Well, we were moving Buck out of the
Yes.
apartment at the warehouse, and
that, of course,
and they were sliding a couch onto the man lift, which is scissor lift, and somebody let go,
Of the couch.
of the couch, and it just shoved me right off the man lift. And so
10 feet right onto a concrete floor.
well, not quite on the concrete floor, but sufficient to fracture a couple of things.
So you fractured your hand.
So
You're
I've-
so lucky
I
that's
fractured
all
my
that
hand.
happened.
Well, and I think I've got a little fracture right up in here, but it's only uncomfortable when I sing.
Then don't do that. I will tell you now that is not the call that I like to get when I'm on the road, is that my husband has been knocked off of a man lift 10 feet to a concrete floor. That was crazy. You have guardian angels.
You're as tough as an old boot.
No, you have a crazy guardian angels.
I would say the landing
good
situation
crazy.
was as good as it could be. I think most scenarios could break your neck.
Yes, and that would have been all bad. Before I go, I want to say that when I was in Arkansas, I was keynote speaker at an amazing event, and it was hosted by the Brand New Church, it's a church name called the Brand New Church, and it was awesome. It was an event for 250 women or so, and it was really wonderful. But the church itself was awesome. They bought a grocery store and converted it into a church, and they did it without bringing in all these buildings. All the men of the church pitched in, and whatever their talent was, they made this happen. And I thought, wow, only in the South could that happen, really, where no one charged for they completely converted a grocery store into a gorgeous multi-use different rooms for different events church.
And you can get ice cream on aisle 4 whenever you need it.
And you can get ice cream on aisle 4. But I also really loved the people and the pastor of this church. And there was a lot of young people at this church, and they were all very technical. So they taped the show, and the stage was beautiful. I dare say I have performed on such a beautiful stage anywhere, and I've performed on a lot of stages, but that's how much care went into it. So the Brand New Church, you really got my attention. I love what you're doing. I love all the people I met. And this event that you threw for these 250 women, to give them an amazing night out, was so beautiful, and I loved and felt so honored to be a part of it. So thank you for having me as your keynote speaker, and I performed a little bit too for them, and it was just really, really great. So thank you for having me, and it made me feel good to be in such a fantastic church. Thank you. And I watch their service now on Sunday. I got the link. It's just a really cool place. And oddly enough, I was driving somewhere today here in Vegas, and I saw a grocery store that was also converted into a church.
Well,
over on Sunset and Pecos-ish
since we
area.
can't get our supplies anymore, we might as well turn it into useful space.
Exactly.
Unless you're going to go to Long Beach directly, swim out to the boat and get what you need, you better just go ahead and convert that building into a church.
Indeed. So before we say goodnight to everybody, I'll have Todd play something for you. We'll maybe we can just go to we're not connected to the chickens, are we? See what's going on in there. I hope they're not. You know what? It's cold here right now. It's like 35 degrees, but it goes right through your bones, kind of cold.
Do you want me to run the
So
Debbie video again?
Sure, you can run the Debbie video again. And while everybody says goodnight to each other, but yeah, when I take the chickens down in the morning, Mama's freezing for sure. I'm all bundled up, and I take the chickens down off the bar, and I hold them to my face. And their little combs and wattles are all cold, and they're just so sweet. I just love our babies. And then we have our 2 inside. I'm trying to get Teddy to be an indoor bird because I'm crazy about him, but, we'll see. Anyway, guys, we love you so much. Thank you for coming tonight, and we will see you next week. I actually will be on tomorrow. I'm doing a shopping show. I think it's going to be around 2 o'clock Pacific time, so 5 o'clock Eastern time. But we're getting close to Christmas now, so that's where I'll be tomorrow. I'll post it tonight on Facebook. Good night. We love you. God bless you.
A super attraction
See you later.
in the main Las Vegas showrooms or in concert, as well as on Broadway or any place else she chooses to appear. I'm very pleased she's here. I love her. Debbie Reynolds. Hobbling.
Hello, Skinny.
Hiya, honey.
Does that really steam, Shelley? Do you have that feeling?
Ticks her off, man, that I've kept these things all in, I tell you. well, no, these
She's a
things
dancer.
go well.
You're a dancer. That's it.
That's
No,
still not
Shelley
the
likes
excuse,
to
Shelley.
eat, dear.
I know.
We made a film together called What's the Matter with Helen?
And the
She was
rumors that
wonderful.
came out of that set were incredible.
They
You
were
were
all
almost true.
Well, I nicknamed Shelley Killer because in the film, at the end of the film, she was supposed to kill me. But the problem was that she sort of got so in, you know, the method school, which
Yeah.
Shelley is, you know, the method. So when she gets into the method, I forget about it. You lose Shelley when she's just banana cake. She's the character she's playing. So right away, I knew she was going to kill me from the start.
Well, I had that knife in my
I know
hand.
you did.
A rubber dagger.
No, it's supposed to be
real one.
rubber, but
Yeah.
she decided she really didn't like me.
No, that's not
Oh, yes,
true.
and I had to check that knife every day. I checked that.
Did you go over and
Is
hit
it
her
the
with-
rubber knife or is it the real knife? You scare me to death, you crazy thing. It's good to see you.
Nice
good
to see you,
I
darling.
watched you backstage. Wait. Oh, I was watching you
Did I
backstage.
look
Shelley.
back? Never
No.
mind if I look
Oh,
back.
Shelley, will you
No,
forget?
no, Shelley, you were talking about your list of all your lovers, so I made
Not lovers,
No,
they're
well,
not all my
well,
lovers.
well, your people that you
Have stories with.
had a moment of pleasure with. This is my list.
It's probably invisible ink.
I don't know what to do. I mean, I couldn't even put Merv down. Were you on her list? Did you all do it?
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that what you got when
Yes.
you said?
No, that's not what
We
we're
did it
talking
here
about.
one time. They ran the credits right over it. And nobody looked.
It only took a minute.
It
huh?
only took a second,
We knew
Debbie.
each other in New York a long time ago.
A long time ago.
Oh, well,
See,
I
I
know.
know Debbie a long
Darling,
time.
we knew each other. You were under contract to I don't know
Warner's.
where. Warner's, and I was under contract, and
Yeah.
that was in 1948. And I had just started in the business, and
Yeah.
you had just started.
I know, and we used to have to go to all those things, the opening of the Ice Follies and the...
We had fun, though.
Oh, it was good.
In fact, Shelley was at my house when I built, first money I ever made was on a little record called the Chimpeak with Carlton Carpenter.
I know.
So it made, I don't know, $1,500. In those days, I bought my daddy a car. Can you believe, bought daddy a car, an MG, and I built a swimming pool. And Shelley came
There's
over.
only one thing. They had a little bungalow in Burbank or someplace, and the swimming pool. When you
Called a
step
track house. Is what
when you
it's called.
step out the door, you step right in the pool, and I mean, it took up the whole yard. We had to have a barbecue out in the alley. I'll never. There was no room.
Oh, but we had a good time.
Yeah, we had.
Did you save all those early publicity things, the
I
movie
save
mag-
everything.
When you look back, is that a stranger? Do you like that image? I mean, you were the girl next door, the most gifted
I don't
person.
think you can be what you aren't. You can be manufactured, and in those days they did manufacture stars or a certain image of whatever they wanted, especially sex symbols, but they really couldn't do that to me because there wasn't that much to work with. It wasn't like Shelley. I mean, you know, I wasn't... this one is so cooperative, you know.
Right.
I'll fight you right to the end, if you pardon the expression. So I was the girl next door, so I just stayed in
Were
my
you
house.
really all of that time inside? Were you the girl next door?
Sure.
Because you really are. You're.
I was a Girl Scout. I loved Girl Scouting, and I liked camping out, and I liked all. I mean, I've changed through the years, just like Shelley was saying. Naturally, I mean, she doesn't say her age. I'm 49, so that makes Shelley a lot older. And keep that cane over there.
Don't do it, Shelley.
You should see the cookies she bakes. They're wonderful.
I was kidding. When we were working together, she brought cookies every day. Cause
Now,
Shelley,
you brought the cookies. I bought the wine.
no, you ate the cookies. But I enjoyed all those the young years of growing up, and now we're at the point where you asked Shelley a serious question. You know, how do we kind of like our life today? And as she said, it's for today, as you do. You know, we have.
Do you live every day for?
Well, I
what
think
it
that
is?
you have to do that, especially the way it is, the world is today. I think it's such a shocking time to be living in and growing up in. And I mean, there's just so much disaster around us. If we don't, we have to all be very cognizant of the problems that exist in the world today. Much more when I was growing up. I just wanted to be happy, and I thought being happy just happened. But today, happiness is something you really have to create.
Right.
I've learned that. Then that's been
Are you ever lonesome?
Everybody gets lonely, especially women that are divorced. I've been divorced 9 years, and I don't go steady, and I don't fool around. Sorry, that's my list back there. So, but not saying that that's not, you know, for me that's right. For Shelley, I'm not saying that's wrong, because that really makes her happy. She's a very free spirit. If I flew that far, I'd collapse in a second.
But those kids took off and got married on you.
My children all grew up.
Todd married recently,
Yep.
didn't he?
My
Carrie.
little boy's all grown up now.
Right.
But you know what, I have something for Shelley I was going to tell, well, I was going to tell you. I didn't know you were going to be on the show, Shelley, so I would have brought, you know, I lost a lot of weight recently from a new diet that's terrific, and you can eat chocolate cupcakes, and you can...
I know, I wouldn't endorse it.
The Beverly Hills
You don't
Diet?
They asked me first.
I know, they told me that. But
I know, I didn't like
Did
it.
you try it?
Yes, I did try it.
No,
And
you didn't
yes.
go on.
Are you talking about the Beverly Hills
No,
Diet?
no, it's
I lost,
something...
you know,
some- it-
15 pounds, or just like that.
Well, I don't think that's the way you should do it. Well, I mean, maybe it's right for you. It wasn't right for me.
Did you try it, though?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah? There's a very
threw
good
up.
new diet. It's,
Are you talking about Judy Mazel's diet?
no, that's a great... A lot of the new diets are terrific. This is called Nutrisystems, which is N-U-T, nutritional systems, and it's a whole thing where they plan all your menus for you, and you
Right.
go on the diet, and I lost 4 pounds first week, 3 pounds the second week, but my secretary lost 15 pounds. Honestly.
Yeah?
It was terrific for her.
Shelley's not
Because she didn't
thrilled.
like it. Well, she doesn't like anything you tell her. She discovered...
Are you a
she
crisis
loves it.
eater?
No, I'm an eater.
But in crises, do you pop down?
Yes.
Yeah.
And when I'm happy, I have...
You forget to eat.
Pop up.
I pop up. No, food is one of the sensual things of the world.
Well, meals are, in as much as it's the only communication you have left with each other or entertainment. In the old days, we had nightclubs to go to and you run into everybody. Now you go out for these extended dinners that go on for 4 hours
I think you can...
and you stuff.
There's a way of eating, though. If you go on a diet for this amount of time, you know, let's say really 2 months or 1 month, you know, if you have to lose 20 pounds, you have to go on a diet for, you know, 5, 6 weeks. You lose that, then you go out and have a good time. You don't have to stay on it. Once you get down, and of course, if you exercise, that's the big thing.
Right.
You know,
We'll come back right after this commercial message.